It's one of those things that we are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
It's time that we really, truly change this, and not penny by penny or dollar by dollar, but as to the significant point of being equal.
Pearl, what do you think?
What is the difference between profit and revenue?
A few moments later.
Does she know?
Well, the difference is visibility, and the fact that women aren't seen on the visible platforms the way that the men
actually
are.
that's not correct. You
correct.
don't know it?
We're now tuned in to the Dark Times channel.
In this modern day and age, we need to pay the women equally. And it's time that we really, truly change this, and not penny by penny or dollar by dollar, but as to the significant point of being equal.
Pearl, what do you think?
What is the difference between profit and revenue? You guys know it?
Okay, obviously you've got a point to make, so go ahead.
No, I'm asking the question because if you're going to make the claim that we need to have equal revenue, okay, what is the difference? Tell me. Does she know?
Well, the difference is visibility, and the fact that women aren't seen on the visible platforms the way that the men are.
That's not correct. You
correct.
Don't know it?
And therein lies the problem with women demanding more money from the WNBA, or anyone for that matter, demanding more money from their employer without recognizing or considering the cost of running a business.
Until they pay me for the cars and the clothes, studio time, promotions, your expense account. So you see, you really owe me, Jimmy.
And it's real simple. There's a lot of owners within the WNBA that are generating revenue, but they're not necessarily making a profit. And this is something that the WNBA players don't understand, or they just want a higher percent regardless. Never mind the fact that the NBA is not making any money. They're not getting a profit. They want their money. They want their check.
You know, we talk about the CBA, right? So the collective bargaining agreement, and in the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players, right? So jersey sales, obviously their TV contracts. You see these every year. These contracts get bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, massive.
But that's because their CBA it negotiates where if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
In the WNBA, that's not the case.
Oh wow.
So in 2025, that's our new, opportunity to renegotiate or opt out. So there are definitely future opportunities coming, but I will say that it's one of those things that we are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it.
Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay, I don't get a dime.
You don't get any money from jersey sales?
That's great.
No way.
So
What?
that's why it's like,
Image and likeness.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, okay, that's
so like
bullshit.
that's the stuff we're talking about.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
Which is why 3 different WNBA owners in expansion just paid $250 million a piece to do it. They didn't do that so they could go in and lose money.
I don't think you can really compare it when the NBA brings in $11 billion a year and we're losing $250 million. We're making less money.
What is it about the WNBA that means that players shouldn't receive 50% of revenue if that's the percentage of revenue that NBA players and leagues across the world make?
Because they're unprofitable.
Okay, what do you... Pearl, do you
Totally.
disagree with that sentiment or agree? That is it not the same investment? Is it worthy of the same investment?
Women aren't as entertaining as men. So when women start getting as entertaining as men, you'll see the viewership be close to the same, and you'll see more investment.
And she's right. Compared to the men's basketball and basketball players who know what they're looking at, the women's game of basketball is boring compared to the men's game of basketball. And the entertainment value just isn't there. Now, there's ways to fix this problem. There's ways to rectify the problem. And there's a solution to the problem, and something I've been saying for quite some time, and something that a lot of people have been saying for quite some time. They got to lower the rims.
Well, it's not as exciting.
No, it's not as
It's
exciting.
not as exciting basketball.
Yeah, you're not.
They gotta lower the rims. I would watch a girl coming down the lane on the nut. I would watch that. They need to lower.
Doing more this year.
I got a question, and this is not a shot at women in basketball.
Well, good, because you're going to be...
Whoa, no. Listen, I had this talk. I think me and Rebecca Lobo had this talk during the Hall of Fame, and I was talking about doing something that gets, you know, not your average fans, people that don't watch WNBA basketball. What can we do to get those fans to tune in? And I was like, why can't we lower the goal to at least 9.5 feet? Because I think for somebody that don't watch WNBA basketball, to have women dunking on other women would definitely bring more excitement to that game, and have, you know, those guys that don't watch WNBA basketball tune in, and you get more fans that way. What do you think about that?
I mean, my thought on it is, you know, I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life. So to move it to 9.5, it's going to take a long time to get used to that.
And the last comment that Breonna Stewart just made is the exact reason why women's basketball has been stifled when it comes to the revenue. It's women like that who are being selfish in their own right and not thinking forward, not thinking about the future of the game, that's holding up the game of basketball, at least for the women, that is. Because if they wanted to, and this is just not my conjecture, but if you go around and you talk to a lot of people who know what they're talking about, if the women lowered the goals to 9.5, I think the women would have a chance on exceeding the men's game of basketball. There's a good chance of that happening, because now you're going to see something that you haven't seen before. And then on top of that, the men's basketball game is somewhat stifled too, because now all they do is shoot threes. And so it's getting somewhat repetitive, and people are tired of seeing that, and people are thirsty and hungry to see something that they haven't seen before.
But I have a solution for that, and nobody's going to like my solution.
I'm here.
So let me explain why I came up with this solution first. In women's beach volleyball, let's just say that the net is 10. For women, it's lower just a little bit. I'm not saying lower it to 9.5, 9.6, but just 9.9.
Just so we can dunk?
Yes.
No.
No, see?
Mm-mm.
And
I hate when men say that.
But listen, that's the only difference.
We start dunking, then what?
Watch.
Shout out to Angel Reese. I like Angel Reese. I like her game, at least on the court. But right here, she's either being willfully delusional or she's just being stubborn. Because here you have a Hall of Famer, one of the best centers, one of the best players to ever do it in the NBA, giving you the game, giving you the blueprint. And not only is he one of the best players to ever play in the NBA, he's also one of the best businessmen to ever come out of the NBA. Shaq owns pretty much everything. He's up there with Magic Johnson when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And so not only is he giving you the game from what a consumer wants to see, he's also giving her the game from a business standpoint. And I'm not trying to pick on Angel Reese, because she's not the only one. As we showed Breonna Stewart earlier, she had the same sort of disposition when it came to a professional athlete, giving her some advice on how they can improve the women's game. She had the same attitude. And that's a dangerous attitude to have. That's a dangerous, stubborn attitude to have. When you have an opportunity to capture an audience that you're not capturing, it's almost as if they don't want the men to watch. Now, whether it's true or not, but 90% of men, when they're watching the WNBA game, they feel that they're better than the majority of the women out there on the court. I don't care if they're 50 or 60 years old, they probably feel like they could give them buckets. And that's the cold hard truth. There's thousands of men right now that can't make it to the NBA. Not even the NBA. There's thousands of men right now that can't even play overseas, that were the best in their high schools, that were the best at their college, and they can't make it to the pros. But yet you have somebody that can get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're not as good as you, and they're complaining about not getting paid more. And so that's turning a lot of men off. And here you have former athletes trying to give some game to these women in the WNBA, telling them, hey, if you do this, you're going to get all the guys to watch. Because now they're not watching you for your skill set alone, because they don't want to watch your skill set, because the truth of the matter is they feel that they're better than you. So they're not going to watch you for your skill set. But what they will watch, like they watch tennis and volleyball, they will watch to be entertained. And if that means lowering the goals so they can now see something that they haven't seen before, which is a woman dunking on another woman. And I'm not talking about a dunk where it's a wide open dunk and there's a fast break and you got Lisa Leslie or Brittany Griner coming down here doing a one-handed dunk that you've seen at a middle school game or a high school game. No, I'm talking about a two-handed slam a 360, a windmill dunk, something that you haven't seen another woman do, especially in the WNBA. That's what we're talking about. And it doesn't even have to happen every game, just the threat of it. People will tune in to see. Michael Jordan wasn't dunking every game, damn near every game, but he wasn't dunking every game. But people will tune in to see the possibility of a Michael Jordan doing something that they haven't seen before. And that's something that the WNBA hasn't even tapped into. And the only reason why they haven't tapped into it is stubbornness.
I'm telling you.
200 mil contracts, 100 mil? No, absolutely not.
See,
we don't even have the people don't. Enough people don't even watch the game.
Because I don't want to use the B word.
Boring.
Unless it's certain people playing. It's like you're watching like a high school game. Our game is different because we do all the stuff. Alley-oops, throwing off the glass, fast break three. I'm telling you. Like if you, my best friend, former agent Leonard Armato, he used to run AVP, volleyball, beach volleyball, and the women were more popular than the men. The women were more popular than the men. I'm telling you, dunking with the Shaq emblem with your knees up, man, you tripping. You tripping, bro. What? Brittany Griner just busting through the lane, busting out.
Brittany Griner can already dunk.
Yeah, it's true. Brittany Griner can dunk. And the last time she had a dunk was 2023. And she does have the most dunks in WNBA history with 25 dunks. But the total number of dunks within the WNBA is 28, not counting All-Star games. And so Brittany Griner, Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, and Michelle Snow have dunked in a game. And that's it. You're talking about 4 players in the history of the WNBA that's ever dunked. And so of course it would be an adjustment to lower the rims to 9.5 or somewhere around there. Of course that's going to be an adjustment. You're going to have to work on it. The shot's going to change a little bit. Definitely going to have more range. And there's only going to be a handful of women still that are going to be able to dunk because they haven't trained for it. Dunking is not something you can obviously do overnight. You got to train for it. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a younger generation of girls that grow up playing on a smaller goal, and they're going to focus on jumping. They're going to focus on dunking. And by the time they get to the WNBA, they'll be dunking. But I think it comes down to a lot of women within the WNBA not wanting to see that change happen simply because they didn't have that luxury. And the game is going to look completely different. And I think that's something probably in the back of their minds that they don't want to happen. I don't think they want their games dismissed when history looks at the WNBA, because people are going to look back at the WNBA almost like we look back at the 50s and the 60s when it comes to the NBA. It's going to look like a completely different game. And I think in the back of a lot of women's minds, that's something that they fear. But that's my thoughts on it anyways. Make sure you guys go ahead and chime in below. Let me know how y'all feel about this video. And as usual, peace and chaos.